Good morning, all. This is Jack from Charting Markets, and this is the pre-market webinar for the morning of Friday, the 14th of November. My disclaimer: I do this for educational purposes only. I'm here to share my technical analysis with you. I hope you can take some of what I'm doing and learn from it, transfer it to your own charts. I'm not here to issue trading signals. This is a video for paying subscribers at chartingthemarkets.substack.com, and it's published on YouTube after a delay of 24 hours. Right. Okay. Well, what happened yesterday? Well, we saw the pullback that I was looking for in the morning, and then it continued. And one thing I was talking about a couple of days ago is the possibility that we were forming a bull flag on SPX. And I'm thinking that would be A, B, C. And that is one of the things on the table here, but there are more bearish scenarios. Overnight, we were forming an awful lot of potential buy signals. Most of those lost divergence overnight. ES made the divergence and lost it. NQ, which has now taken out the last low, lost that divergence as well. RTY, the IHS that was forming, well, we had this little IHS that failed. We had a possible alternate IHS, which obviously never came back and broke up. And we've gone down and made a lower low. Now, one thing to mention here is that we already have a double top that's broken down. And that's got a target down here in the 2292 to 2300 range, and that is now firmly back on the table. We've still got a possible weak 6-minute buy signal brewing here, but I'm thinking we're probably going to lose divergence on that too. YM retested the high, and we have a very nice looking double top here. I'm thinking that may well break down. We still, well, as of yesterday, we hadn't broken down below the daily middle band. I'm thinking we're probably going to. And there's a pretty good chance this double top breaks down and we go considerably lower. DAX haven't lost divergence yet. We've got a possible 60-minute buy signal brewing there. And ESTX, we've got the same. DAX, we've got the double bottom breaking up. That may well be failing back into a retest of low. That would not be forming a larger double bottom. ESTX, no obvious topping pattern at the moment. All right, let's have a look at those on the bigger picture charts. Okay, looking at ES. ES, we saw. Wait a second. Pretty sure that needs an update. Yeah, okay. Right, ES broke down below the daily middle band hard, and we may be forming the possible bear flag that I was talking about. That would look like. Hang on. And we're also very close to a test of the 50 DMA. As and when we get back to the retest of the low, we will be breaking below that. We haven't seen a break below that. In fact, we haven't seen a break below that since it broke up in early May, and this would be a significant support break. In terms of forming a possible bull flag here, let's just have a quick look at that. And all right, that would be the resistance trend line. Where would be the obvious support trend line? That's a contender. We could have a bull flag channel. That's probably the main contender. I'll draw those in because obviously we're watching those as we get. But I think chances are we are going to see a lower low now. As and when we see that lower low, then we will see whether we've got a larger move down. Is there a possible alternative setup here? Yes, there is. This could be. I don't like it, and this is why I've mainly got this marked in on the RTY chart. I'm sorry, on the IWM chart, and obviously the double top on Dire. But this is a potential head and shoulders, and I've got a similar one on Qs, but I haven't marked it in because these aren't the best patterns. On Qs, we got below the daily middle band again, and we're again testing the 50 DMA, break that, and that's obviously a significant support break. Dire, we didn't get back to the daily middle band yet. Obviously that had gone up the highest. We've got a lovely looking for rising wedge, but we made resistance again, so I've drawn it in, and this is currently unbroken again. But it's a very, very nice pattern. We've got a lovely double top. I think it's a decent chance that's going to play out. We will see how that goes. All right, let's have a look at IWM. And looking at the daily chart, obviously I was mentioning yesterday that we were failing so far at the daily middle band. This is now a hard fail on the daily middle band. Now, what have we got here in terms of patterns? And we did have an original double top, which I really didn't like. This is a possible head and shoulders, and I really like this. Now, if we see a breakdown, which I think we're going to do at the open today, we don't necessarily need to make the target, but if we do make the target, that target is down at about the 219 area. And actually, I think combined with the dire target, yeah, I think these are potentially makeable. We will see how that goes. At a weak RSI 5 buy signal here, that has failed on the daily chart. Looking at the early chart, basically we've got a head and shoulders here, or we've got a bull flag. But I think this morning we're going to break significantly below. And that sets up a target down in the 219 area, and I think there's a decent chance we're going to make it. But at the moment, we've seen pretty hard breakdown on crypto as well, which is confirming an overall bearish outlook significantly. Yesterday on DAX, we were testing the daily middle band at the close. Today, we are going to gap below it fairly hard. On Nikkei yesterday, haven't seen it yet, but I think there's a pretty good chance we're going to break down below the daily middle band there too. We shall see. All right, let's have a look at DX. Now, DX, I was talking about this being a possible flag. It's expanded and then underthrown bullishly. From there, we've got a weak 6-minute buy signal fix. Hasn't broken up yet, but I'm leaning towards it breaking up. We will see how that goes. Looking at ZB, we've been seeing a bit of a rally here. This double bottom doesn't fail in the same way as an IHS would fail. So we've still, double bottom is still on the table with a target in the 118.18 area, and it could make target on what looks like a flight to safety at the moment. On CL, still got a possible bull flag here, but what I would say is on HO, we've got a nice looking head and shoulders, which has been forming, and on RBOB, we've got a nice looking head and shoulders, which has been forming. These head and shoulders may well break down, in which case all of them are going to go significantly lower. This isn't a reversal back to the October lows kind of pattern, but it could get us a 50 back. In terms of CL, this could a breakdown could get us back into the October lows, but not the other two. NG, I think this is a not particularly high quality rising wedge, but nonetheless a rising wedge, and I'm liking this to go down, and this what you're seeing is the break of the wedge support here. I'm liking the downside here. No current divergence, but I am leaning towards this area being a potential high. And we will see how this develops, but I think this might be the start of that topping out. We will see. But obviously the seasonally long period that I've been talking about for a couple of months now has finished. So if we are going to see a decline, this would be a pretty good area to see that from. All right, let's have a look at. Bear with me a moment. All right, let's have a look at GC. Now, GC, obviously the head and shoulders failed, and I'm leaning towards seeing a retest of the high. That might be delayed by a general liquidation as we see a move down on equities, but I think likely that is coming. We could be forming a larger bull flag. Here on SI, we've got a potential double top here now. Head and shoulders failed. IHS made target, made it all the way up to the retest of the high. Not expecting that double top to play out, but it could break down with a break below this low. Looking at palladium, this is a possible IHS forming. Get much lower, it'll be a possible double bottom forming. If we go lower than that, then we will see. But what we did get was, the head and shoulders here did fail. Sorry, I'm just going to mark that in. All right. So really, all of these downside patterns, we had 3 of them. We had one on GC, we had one on SI. Hey, Doug, and we had one on play. They've all failed now. So really, I'm expecting either we're forming bull flags and could go a bit lower in those, or we go directly back up to a retest the high fairly soon. Platinum, wondering about this being a bear flag setting up a retest this low. At the moment, that's looking likely. HG, I wouldn't be at all surprised. We've got a lovely looking double top here, and I'm not really seeing a lot of reason for it to go up. I'd quite like to see this break down and start heading down more seriously. We'll see whether we get that. USD, kind of looks like a bear flag forming. GBP USD, this looks very, very much. This is actually a nice bear flag wedge forming. Hasn't broken down yet, but as soon as it does, that's got a retest at the low. This is one reason that I'm leaning higher, apart from the bull flags, obvious bull flag setup on DX here. Looking at USD JPY and the others, I'm just looking for confirmation. We had a sell signal make target here. This is potential topping action. We will see how that goes. Looking at the USD CAD, got a little IHS trying to break up here, but actually that IHS has either failed or is forming an alternate right shoulder. We do have a weak 6-minute sell signal fix. All right, looking at KC, we've got a double top that's broken down here with basically a target at a retest this low. Wait and see if that delivers anything. Not convinced it will. SB is trying to break up for a double bottom here with a target in the 15.43 area. CC has retested the low, and we've got an inflection point here where we either rally in a potential double bottom or, I suspect more likely, we break down further. No current positive divergence. CT still hasn't quite made it to the full retest of this low. I'm still leaning towards seeing that, but we do have a possible 60-minute buy signal brewing. Lumber, nice looking potential double bottom. Wouldn't be at all surprised if this actually broke down further directly. I've got some pretty impressive targets to the downside here. ZW might be heading for a retest this high. Corn broke up with conviction. We had, in fact, an old IHS which has broken up here, has now made target. So I've signed that off. Double bottom, the double top that broke down here has failed. We've gone up, made a higher high, and possible topping action, but nothing that convincing. We do have, since I capped the chart earlier, a possible 60-minute sell signal break. So I'll just mark that in. All right. Okay. I'm just going to run through. Doug, could you just put in anything you want me to run through again? I'll just run through the equities quickly after I've got through the rest, and anything else you wanted me to have a quick look at today. All right, soy has gone higher, may well be breaking higher. We've got a possible 60-minute sell signal brewing, and watching to see if that delivers anything. But at the moment, we are just resuming the upside we got after the soy deal was struck with the Chinese. Looks like a bear flag forming here on ZL. 60-minute sell signals reached a possible near miss target. Live cattle may be setting up a double bottom here, or could continue down to these targets further down. The first target is in the 216.50 area. On lean hogs, we've retested the low and expanded this falling wedge. This could be a double bottom here. We'll see how this goes at support here, but still looks like a pretty decent looking falling wedge. It's just got bigger. All right, great. Let's have a quick look at equities again. Equities, we failed. Well, I was talking a couple of days ago about the possibility we might form a flag here, and I'm expecting to see a lower low on SPX and ES. This could be forming an overall bull flag, but there is actually scope to go considerably lower. Could also be forming a flag on NQ. On RTY, we've already got outstanding targets down in the 2290 to 2300 range, and actually on the bigger picture, I've got this as a head and shoulders, which may well be breaking down. Looking at YM, nice looking double top, hasn't broken down yet, but I think it might well do. But these two particularly could take us lower. I've got possible head and shoulders setups on SPX and QQQ as well, but they're not as nice. I'm mainly watching the ones here on Dow and IWM. This is very nice looking rising wedge. This is wedge support. If we break through it, then we've got double top support. If we break down through that, then we've got a minimum target, which would be down in about the 428 area, I think. We will see how that goes. No, 438. We'll see, but obviously we've got potentially a very significant move down here, and this could be what we're starting to see here. Looking at IWM, right? IWM, we have a very nice looking potential head and shoulders. And this actually was a double use pattern. This was either a bull flag or this was a head and shoulders. And I think the jury, unless we see a wild rally before the open, this was a head and shoulders. It's going to break down today and it's going to have a target at about the 219 area. I think it's got a decent chance of making that target. We will see. No real positive divergence here, apart from on DAX and the STX. A little bit on RTY, which we're probably going to lose in the not too distant future. But I'm leaning towards the downside. I'm thinking that this could go quite a long way down. I plan to do a post on it today. We'll see. All right, great. Let's have a quick look at questions. Yeah, my pleasure, mate. Everyone have a great weekend. I'll catch you guys again on Monday. All right, take care.